decided to restart. So I'd like to call the May 9th, 2023 discussion school board meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Adams.
Here.
Dr. Anderson. Here. Mr. Caligiuri.
Here.
Ms. Chudderwitz.
Here.
Mr. Devine.
Here.
Mr. Hill.
Here.
Mr. Sokolsky.
Here.
Mrs. Stepnick. Ms. Wetmore.
Present.
Student Representative Ms. Price.
Here.
Thank you. The board met in executive session on May 9th, 2023 to discuss matters of litigation, safety, personnel, and real estate. This time I'd like to open the floor to citizens' comments on agenda items.
If anyone in the audience would like to make comments on agenda items, we ask you to step to the podium one at a time. Please state your name, your residency within Plum, and you'll be given 5 minutes to speak. Whenever you're finished, we ask that you just step over to the clipboard on the end of the table to put your name and address so that I have it correct for the minutes. Yeah, when you're done, that's fine. This is the time to share your comments, suggestions with the board. If you could please direct your comments directly to the presiding officer. And just a reminder that this is a time for just your comments and suggestions as opposed to a question and answer session with the board. Whenever you're finished, whenever you are ready to begin, go ahead and I will start your timer.
Okay, thank you. Rick Vigno, 701 Surfside. I would like to discuss, let's see, where is that here? Yellow prepared. Section 6, B7, the Plum Mustang Foundation awarding of grants. So I am on the Mustang Foundation as well as a couple other folks back there who have joined me today, and I just wanted to come and congratulate the winners for the $500 grants that we will be issuing to teachers here. Ms. Baker, Tues, Barat, and Wickertsy. I'm sorry, I have a difficult name too, so it's that's sad to butcher a name there. But I wanted to thank the district. They were absolutely paramount to this entire process. Through them, we were able to get the word out about these grants to the schools so that the teachers knew that they were there. I wanted to give, a shout out to the board. Tremendous amount of work that has been going on for well over a year now. I think what we're seeing is the fruition of all of that labor. Multiple meetings, people taking their nights to sit on Teams meetings or to come here to meet, to collaborate, building a grant process from the ground up, getting the district involved, having them distributed out, bringing it back in, taking those applications for these great ideas. And all of them, I believe we had 7 applicants. We were originally going to award 3, but we had a generous donation at the end where we were able to award 4. Wish that we could have awarded 7. And maybe one day that will happen, hopefully sooner rather than later, but we are extremely proud to give these 4 grants away for these tremendous ideas that will benefit a litany of students for a long time. This isn't just single-use stuff. This is lasting educational impact to a bunch of students. So, just wanted to thank everyone involved in the process and the approval of these, and hopefully they aid in everyone's plan here. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Are there any other commenters at this time? Okay. Mr. Devine, back to you.
Thank you. Personnel, Dr. Anderson, anything for tonight?
No.
Student achievement and activities, Dr. Anderson, you have several things here if you want to take over.
Yep. So the FID application and board affirmation page, if everybody had a chance to look at that, that's our flexible instruction day. Dr. Walsh, do you want to talk about, I know there were a couple changes.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. The application for the flexible instructional days needs to be renewed every 3 years, and we're currently going through that process. Initially, they told us it was due in August, and then we found out about a month ago they want it in June. So Mr. Hartman has been leading our district initiative and working with our building administrators, our administrative team, in putting together what happens when we have to close due to weather or other circumstances, a threat to the school or to the district. We're going to continue our current practices with asynchronous and synchronous days. The one significant change is that we would give our students several days in regards to completing their homework for attendance. The state application requires that the work is turned in on the next in-person instructional day, and we modified our application to reflect that. In our digital backpack at the beginning of the school year, our communications that go out, this will be clearly communicated in regards to expectations for our students. Hopefully, we won't have to use it, just like we haven't used it this year. So that's all I have, Dr. Anderson.
With the change that you just mentioned in the homework being turned in the next day, is there any other documents, policies, or anything that we have to look at to update, like any downstream effects, or is it this takes care of everything?
This takes care of all of it.
Thank you.
And also, Mr. Devine, we send out a reminder to all the parents on November 1st about how we do our snow day procedures, our flexible instructional days. So it's going to be pretty much the same thing except for those particular changes.
Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? Do we have 5 to move it forward? Okay. Letter B, we have lots of donations and grants. The Mark Matasic Memorial Fund, the resources to support learning storytelling, $7,000 through the Readathon fundraising event, Tamara McPherson continuing to raise money, which is awesome, Tanya Coy at Pivic, Leah Manuel at Pivic, Dana Lorenz also at Pivic, and then, as Mr. Vigno shared, the Plum Mustang Foundation awarding $500 grants to those 4 instructors that we have. Any questions, concerns? I think huge kudos to all of them, and a big thank you to the Plum Mustang Foundation as well. Any other questions or concerns? Okay, do we have 5 to move those forward? Awesome. All right, letter C. Oh, yeah.
Just one thing I want to note. Month after month after month, we see teachers going above and beyond and trying to get that extra little bump that they need to try and make their classrooms just a little bit better. So I just want to say to the teachers, thank you for their willingness to do the extra work to try and give a little something extra to our students. That's all.
Yeah, and I think when they do that, what's important is there's also work on their end that still comes with it, right? So they're getting resources and then they're doing something above and beyond for our students. So I totally agree. Okay, so JROTC overnight field trip requests. First for the Mountaineer Cadet Officer Leadership Course and then the Outdoor Odyssey Leadership Course. Looked at both of these, if you guys opened up the applications, just great experiences for them. Any questions, concerns, anything else notable we need to know on them? Okay, do we have 5 to move it forward? Awesome. All right, letter D, cheerleading overnight field trip request for the Universal Cheerleaders Association camp. This will be on the 12th through the 15th at Slippery Rock. The district obviously has a cost to help provide transportation. Great experience for our cheerleaders. Any questions or concerns? Do we have 5 to move it forward? Okay. One-to-one device replacement lease with All Lines technology for students going into kindergarten, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. Dr. Walsh, I know some folks haven't been on the board during the time that we've done some of these one-to-one leases. I'm not sure who's speaking to that.
Mr. Loletta is online.
Oh, perfect.
If it's all right, I'd like for him to address this
Absolutely.
because he's the one who did all the hard
Yeah,
work.
I didn't see him in here. I didn't know he was on there. Thank you. Mr. Loletta?
Yes, so it's that time for the grade levels to renew. On the website, we have the renewal schedule. So we have the new incoming kindergarten kids will get devices, and then our 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students will renew their devices, and then we'll collect the old devices and we'll try to put them up for sale. And then we'll continue to follow that schedule. So I think we're about 4 or 5 years into the devices that the students currently have. So this is a proposal to renew and get some new devices in those kids' hands.
Mr. Laletta, we have on here, and maybe I heard him wrong, we have 9th through 12th grade listed. Is it not 9th through 12th?
Yeah.
Is that right?
It would be, that is, it would be kindergarten 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Laletta? Do we have 5 to move it forward? Mr. Laletta, thank you for the work on that.
Absolutely.
Okay, letter F, renewal of the M-Class Amplify Agreement. Dr. Walsh, yeah.
Dr. Anderson, I know Ms. Iben, our Director of Special Ed and Pupil Services, has been working with this along with Mr. Aletta. M-Class is our benchmark assessment that all of our K through 6 students, that is administered 3 times a year in the fall, in the winter, and the spring. And these are the assessments in regards to how students comprehend their fluency and other data that is collected, and the information is shared with parents. If you recall, I believe it was 4 years ago, we had a multiple year agreement, and we found that there wasn't a savings in regards to utilizing this tool long term, so it's become an annual agreement. I know that the special ed department is going to take a close look at this tool and come back, hopefully, we're planning on next April with a recommendation to the board to either move forward with it, or if there's something better out there, to make a recommendation at that time.
Any questions or concerns? Do we have 5 to move it forward? Okay, thank you. And the annual, letter G, the annual renewal of the AIU contract for school-based access program support services. Any questions, concerns, anything to share?
That is an annual agreement for access billing for our students with special needs for providing health-related services.
Any questions or concerns? Okay, 5 to move it forward. Thank you. Letter H, pending the PIAA approval this month for the Plum Borough School District to recognize girls wrestling as a varsity level sport. I know we've done awesome with this already, so are there any questions or concerns to move that forward with PIAA's approval?
The journey took a year.
That's right.
But it's,
That's right, absolutely.
I apologize
Oh.
for being under country this week. I was doing everything I could to avoid that. But I'd like to thank in particular Mr. Caligiuri and Mr. Devine for pushing these 2 initiatives for the girls golf and wrestling forward, and I'm excited for it. And I know from Willows that girls golf is part of our practicing, and we've seen the results of girls wrestling, so I'm excited for the future.
Okay, do we have 5 to move that forward? And then a quick follow, as Ms. Stepnick said, the Plum Borough School District recognizes girls golf as a varsity level sport. Do we have 5 to move that forward? Thank you.
I can't wait to vote on these 2 items.
Yep.
These are just
Letter J, agreement renewal for the Children's Institute for the 23-24 school year. Ms. Sedlak, do you just want to share on that?
This
Yeah.
is just a standard agreement for us to be able to send children to the Children's Institute. We'll be receiving a lot of these for our approved private schools in the upcoming months.
Any questions or concerns? Okay. Do we have 5 to move it forward?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Devine.
Thank you. Safe and supportive schools, Mr. Adams, anything for tonight?
Nothing for this evening.
Thank you. Budget and Finance, Ms. Shutterwitz, you have a couple items here?
Yes, letter A, budgetary items 1 through 3 as listed below. 1, the treasurer report. 2, food and service bills. And 3, budget transfers. Any questions and concerns? We have 5 to move those forward. Letter B, the 2023-24 final budget adoption resolutions 1 through 3 is listed below. Number 1, resolution, final budget for general fund resolution. 2, annual tax levy resolution. 3, homestead farmstead exclusion resolution. Any questions regarding those? Ms. Wetmore?
Just to clarify for the public, Mr. Manzer, information on the homestead, farmstead exclusion is available online, right?
It's online, and any taxpayer that does not have a homestead on their property was mailed a notice from the district as well, instructing them how to apply.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions or discussion? Okay, we have 5 to move those forward. C, the Citizens Rebate Program, applying the 5% senior discount for the district's real estate tax to meet our qualifications and match Allegheny County's existing Act 77 process. If the taxpayer is not paid by the end of the phase period, the 5% discount does not apply to the penalty. And to Ms. Wetmore's previous comment, this is also online on our website as well with the link to right to the county application process. Any questions? Okay, we have 5. And letter D, per policy 005. Number 1, to annual reappointment of Mr. Manzer as the treasurer. And 2, annual designation of Dollar Bank as the district's of funds. Any questions? We have 5, 2. Thank you. That is all I have for this evening.
Thank you.
Mr. Blank, can I kick in there a little bit? I just want to thank Mr. Manzer, who obviously spearheads our budget and presenting the budget to the board, and also a team of administrators who gave input into that process. It is totally a team approach, and obviously with the board, we start this process all the way back in the late fall, and we have an opportunity to really hone in on that budget and find things and try and be what one of our goals is. Our goal number 3 is to be fiscally responsible. And I'm proud of the work that our team has done to present a balanced budget of over $70 million to this board. And I want to thank this board for all the support that they have given us throughout this budget process. So thank you.
Thanks
you,
to
Mr.
my
Manzer.
business office team as well. They do a tremendous job, as well as all the administrative assistants too throughout the district. They spend a lot of time preparing all the details of this budget. So thank you to everybody, all their input on this process.
Facilities and operations, Mr. Hill. You have several items here.
So, line A, bus RFP. Looks like we're looking to send out an RFP for 3 or 4 72 passenger buses. Anything to add? Any questions? We have 5 to move that forward. For B, Metro Network Renewal Link Agreement for our IT network, staying at 10 gig per second. We have any questions?
No comment on 10 gig per second, huh?
I mean, we could always use more.
And it's a little cheaper than it was last year, so how often do you get that?
Right?
That's true. I'm trying to bait you into 50. We have 5 to move it forward. And then item C, a Presidio contract. I don't have visibility to that. I don't know what that is.
Mr. Loletta is online if he wants to give an overview of that.
I know who they are.
Yeah, I got it. So we currently have 2 servers in our environment that run our phone system. And when I came on in 2018, the previous director had just put in new firmwares. We got new phones that year. Well, as of February 19th, 2024, those servers are going to be end of life, which means we no longer can get support on them. So we had to go out and take a look at a few different solutions as to what way to move forward. And reviewing different phone solutions and different options, I felt, myself and my team felt, it was best to move to the Cisco cloud It's a small integration fee. You don't have to purchase your phones. We get a lot of additional features. So what's in front of you is the 10,200. That would be a move, what's called Informacast, over to the cloud, which Informacast does our bells. It does a lot of, when you go up to our schools and push the button, it does those. And then the idea is to move that over first, and then the 40,000 you see in front of you in with the managed services for myself to work with the Presidio team to move our system over to the cloud. The Cisco system in-house right now is pretty cumbersome. The user interface to set up voicemails and extensions is too difficult. And I think with this day and age of technology and the new solution moving to the cloud, it's going to make management a lot easier. We no longer manage 2 servers, firmware updates, things of that nature. And moving forward, it's going to be no change for our end users, and it's going to give us features like being able to call in from our computers, receive voicemail from our computers. It gives us a good feature called E911, which if one of our teachers or any classroom dials 911, it automatically dispatches, sends the room number, the location to administration, and then also to the police ambulance. So trying to get ahead of this so that we can start to get this process going so that we're ready to go day one when the teachers get back and the students get back for next school year.
How's the phone quality over the laptop? Will they need a headset or anything like that?
Say that again, I apologize.
How's the phone quality over the laptop? What are they able to be heard and hear, or will they need headsets?
Yeah, it's almost similar to the Google Meet.
Right.
But so we'll utilize it. We get 10 free hours of training with this. So I plan on at the beginning of next year with some in-service time working with Dr. Walsh. We're gonna carve some time out so we can get some teachers trained. We don't have to utilize it, but I can see ourselves using it in the future. And we have this feature obviously when we're doing the code, it's been tremendously beneficial. But we're probably gonna have to use a headset if we were to do it with a classroom of cloud full of kids. But it's just an additional feature, and it's good to have. If we have to work remote, or we have one of those things that gives us that opportunity and those options.
Do we have any questions? Do we have 5 to move that forward?
Absolutely.
Authorization to proceed.
Hold on, Ms. Stepnick, you said something, we couldn't hear what you said.
She thanked you.
Oh, okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. As you were.
Thanks, Dan.
I apologize, I'm terrible guy.
Looks like we have to look at our Pivot Stormwater Retention Pond. We got a letter from the borough. Do we have any questions or anything to add?
This is just to engage Hayes Design
Yes.
to perform that bid package. We did our best to try to not bid this, but the costs are going to exceed those bid limits, so we do have to do a formal bid process, and we're still outlining our timeline here. If we can possibly get this approved in June, we're going to try our best, but it's going to be a tight timeline.
Any questions? Do we have 5 to move that forward? Discussion and public notice of exclusive competitive beverage contract with PepsiCo Beverage. Any questions?
And this is a follow-up again. We received feedback from the Department of Food and Nutrition that we should advertise this for a period of no less than 30 days. So this is the 30-day public notice. We will not need to move this agenda item forward, and we will put this on our June meeting for approval.
Thank you.
Do we have 5 to move that forward?
We don't need 5 to move it
Let's do it anyways.
Go for it.
Better safe than sorry, right, Dane? That's all I have for facilities.
Thank you. Forbes Road CTC, you have one item here.
I do.
there is a budget increase, less than 4%, 3.85, yeah, 3.85%. Any questions? I do. I just was, so we are looking at trying to, and we've asked them to look at putting money aside for capital improvement projects for Forbes. It's, there are needs there, and they address them pretty well, but what I don't want to get is caught behind the 8 ball like has happened in the past. So they're looking into that. Probably not going to be on this budget, but for future uses. So something to think about.
Do they plan on putting that on when the superintendents meet for further discussion?
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah. We have 5 to move that forward. Back to you.
Thank you. Intergovernmental, there's nothing to move forward tonight. Just a reminder to our juniors, correct, that apply for the council seat?
Correct.
For our juniors, that we have a student.
Seniors, right. I meant to rising seniors.
Right, yeah, okay, so juniors going to be seniors. We have a student rep on the school board here, and we worked with council to get the seat for the student rep on the council. It's part of a national program, so everything's outlined and has been sent out via social media. So if we have any juniors going to be seniors interested, please apply and send that directly to the borough.
Can I have one thing too? Yeah. We also, unfortunately, we're going to have to replace Lauren. You're irreplaceable, but someone's going to have to fill her seat. So at the action meeting at the end of May, we're going to have a candidate for you folks. I just met with this candidate today. I haven't heard back from her parents to make sure that they're good, but I'm sure that's going to be the case. And we'll have someone to fill her spot. Okay.
Every time we have one, I was like, there's no way that person's going to top the one before, and every time they top the one from before. So.
Not this time, Lauren.
She didn't. Yeah, and that's how good she was. She didn't choose Penn State, and she's still better than one.
I'll tell you how good she is. She's coming back for the meeting after she already graduated. That's pretty darn good.
Legislative, Ms. Stepnick, you have 2 items here.
Yes, first, Lauren, I would come back just to you. Thank you for your dedication. It's much appreciated. This is the annual appoint 2 board members to the PSBA Delegate Assembly. This is different than the annual conference, leadership conference that transpires. This is to set the legislative agenda for the next legislative session in 2024. I hear Dave talking about that already. If I could, would like to appoint Mr. Calatieri and myself, if the board would be okay with that, as I have always had an active role in PSBA.
Do we have 5?
Do
Do we have questions?
Yeah, I do. Don't we normally ask people for interest? Or are we just appointing people? I'm just curious.
I can answer that. In the past, we have asked who's interested. So I don't know if there's going to be any takers, but
Before we move these 2 forward, is anybody else interested? Okay. So do we have 5 to move these 2 forward?
Do we?
Again.
Ms. Stephanie, you have 1 more item on here?
Yes, sorry, it's a little laggy. Also on the agenda is School Boards Association annual membership. This is where we get policy changes that come through the legislature. They are a wealth of knowledge for our district, and I don't feel like this year I have to say the caveat of staying on the political conversations, and I would ask that we move this forward in its entirety for our partnership.
Any questions on this? Do we have 5? All right, thank you. Policy, Mr. Calagiri, anything for tonight?
No, nothing for tonight. Thank
Thank you.
All right, equity and inclusion, Ms. Wetmore, one item here.
Yes, I am asking the board to support resolution number 2023-5-30-4, school meals for all, in support of the Senate Bill 180 and the House Bill 180. Several school districts in the area and across the state are looking at this resolution. Some have already passed the resolution to support these bills. These bills would provide free lunches to all students in the state of Pennsylvania. Hopefully you guys had a chance to look at the resolution. Some of the interesting facts I pulled out were that in order for a family of 4 to qualify for free lunches in the state of Pennsylvania, they have to make under $36,000 a year. I don't know about you guys, but my son's girlfriend makes $30,000 a year. She graduated from high school last year. So a family of 4 living on that is not a lot. And then one of the other facts I thought was interesting is with the introduction of free breakfast, which I'm not sure if the community, everyone knows, that the state did carry free breakfast throughout the state following the pandemic relief money running out. They kept that. They didn't keep free lunches. But if we were to add free lunches, on average, families in our district would save $790, almost $92 a year. And that would put about $616,300 back into our community as money that it would normally be used to support lunches. You guys have read the resolution. I think you can't go wrong with providing free meals for our kids. Research shows that kids do better when they have meals. And I think there was also a note in here that our district has seen a significant increase in students using breakfast now that it's free. I think it was a 13.75% increase of students eating breakfast. And I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody might have.
I just clarify, I have concerns that some of your state support this. When I last checked, there's still no fiscal note. But I will say, we should say kudos to Jessica Griggle in our district because for years she's been trying to find every creative way possible to utilize these programs for our kids. And in terms of grab and go and a variety of things. So our district has done a very good job of finding every way possible to utilize this. I'm really curious in the fiscal note on the state. Not that it really should be a conversation, but how long will they sustain this for? So hopefully they'll get back with answers on that.
And they have identified that it's going to come from interfund transfer and an appropriations, which I'm not 100% sure what that means, but we can edit the resolution to indicate that we, as a district, support this ask so long as the money does not come from the Pennsylvania Department of Education General Fund. And I don't have a problem with that. We're just basically going to distribute this once, if approved, to our local legislators so that they know that we as a school board feel that this is important. And I do know that Brandon Markosik is a co-sponsor on the bill at in the House, and Jim Brewster is a co-sponsor on the bill in the Senate, along with several other local individuals, but not necessarily Plum representatives.
So no cost to the district, and then
No cost.
and then is this just like a public proclamation, basically? Yes. Okay, just making sure I understood. Cool.
Yeah, we're just saying that we support the idea of the state providing free lunches to all students.
There's no meals provided in the summer times though, correct? From schools?
Yes, we do. We have lunch programs throughout the summer at Holiday Park and here in the high school.
Who?
All right, do we have 5?
Can we edit to make sure that we're including that it doesn't come from our basic ed funding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we make that edit before?
Can we add that line?
8 hours,
Yeah.
hours in Plum, but general statewide. This has to be an additional line item. And I know that's budget
Yes.
conversation for the legislature for the month of June. They're very clear on that during our family bill.
Okay, so just want to confirm, we have 5 to move forward with adding that line, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And I thank you all for that very much.
Community engagement, outreach, and development, Ms. Stepnick, anything for tonight?
No, not for tonight, thank you.
All right, this time I'd like to open the floor to citizens' comments on non-agenda items.
Again, we just ask you to step to the podium one at a time. If you have a comment, please state your name, your residency within Plum. You'll be given 5 minutes to speak. Please direct your comments directly to our presiding officers. A reminder that this is a time for your comments and suggestions rather than a question and answer session with the board. When you're finished, we just ask that you step up to the clipboard and write your name down so I spell it correctly in the minutes. Whenever you're ready, one at a time, you can step up and speak.
Hi guys, my name is Philip Sewell. Some of you know me, most of you don't. Owner and operator of Sewell Landscaping. I live on McJunkin Road 215. I'm here today, well first of all, I want to thank the board for moving forward as many women-girls sports as possible, especially Calgary and Devon. That's really awesome and I really appreciate that, guys. I'm here today because and I also wanted to say how much I really appreciate how much you guys are doing with mental health and what you guys have been doing over the past like 5-6 years in positive things for mental health in that direction. That being said, there could always be more. So I'm actually sponsoring a mental health awareness event at the end of this month. It's called Let's Talk Mental Health Awareness. And it's a motivational, it's a motivational kind of event. There's a few speakers so far. One is, his name is Chris Stallworth. He's a professional boxer and he owns Stallworth Boxing Academy. Also, the other speaker, his name is Sean Chaney. He owns Break the Chains Fitness. He's a personal trainer. These guys are friends of mine, very, very motivational guys, have been through their own trials and tribulations in the past, have overcome those. These are very successful people, very motivational guys, and I want to maybe set some new coping mechanisms for the kids to get through the hopelessness feelings of maybe feeling lost and alone sometimes. These are feelings that kids go through, teens go through. I've been through them, and unfortunately, some of my friends haven't been through. They didn't know how to cope well with the stresses of life. And unfortunately, they decided to end their lives because of that. That happens in Plum, and it's still happening now. And unfortunately, I don't want to ever see that happen anywhere, especially here. But we always have issues with that, and we can always do more. So these events I'm planning are just to help with those things. I just wanted to make the board aware of these. If there's anything that you can maybe do to probably help promote, that would be amazing. If you have any questions, please, I'm only a text or a message away. All it is to help these kids, and if you have anything else for me, please let me know. Thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you.
Any other comments at this time? Okay, Mr. Devon, back to you.
Thank you. We have our upcoming public meetings. Board action meeting on Tuesday, May 30th, 2023 at 7 o'clock here in the high school library. This time I'd like to call the meeting adjourned. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Abstain.